Hey, what's up everybody, this is GalacticJerry and today I'm bringing you another Pokemon ORAS Wi-Fi Battle. This time it's against a passerby that goes by the name of Corbin, and he's bringing a Glalie, Blissey, Serperior, Charizard, Entei, and a Trevenant. And over on my team, I'm bringing the same team that I brought for my last Wi-Fi Battle upload, because this battle happened right after that one. And I kinda didn't want to accept the challenge because that the previous battle was 83 turns and I was super tired, but I say what the heck, haven't really had any Wi-Fi battles lately, so I figured let's go ahead and do this thing. So but anyways, it is a Pokémon 2, Clefable, Manaphy, Latias, Feraligatr, and Venusaur. So with that being said, let's go ahead and press play on this thing. Don't worry, this battle is not as long as my previous one. It's only 36 turns I think, but yeah, let's go ahead and press play. Okay, Corbin is issuing a challenge. So I lead off with my Porygon 2 again. I'm not sure why, but it's probably my best option. And here comes the Trevenant, and right now I was predicting he was gonna go for either Leech Seed or a Will-O-Wisp. And I was able to trade a Harvest, but that's not going to be no use for me. So I guess my opponent was predicting me to withdraw as well, so he withdrew into Blissey. And meanwhile, I also switched out, and that pretty much told me that the Trevenant was faster than my Porygon 2, which sucks. But yeah, here comes my Clefable. I switched into my Clefable, predicting a Leech Seed or a Will-O-Wisp, so obviously none of that is going to affect my Clefable. So I decided to stay in battle, hoping that this Blissey will go for Toxic, which it does, but I'm able to avoid the attack, which sucks because I really wanted my Clefable to get poison, because I know it's not going to affect it because of the Magic Guard ability. But here comes the Entei after Blissey missed the Toxic extra pressure, and meanwhile I go for another Combine to bring me at +2 in special defense and special attack. But I don't really have any moves that can do anything to this Entei. I have Flamethrower and Moonblast, my only attacking move. So yeah, I decided to switch out into my Manaphy, predicting a Fire type move, a physical Fire type move, Sacred Fire to be precise, but instead it goes for Iron Head, which is not going to be very effective and doesn't really do much, and I'm able to recover some HP with the leftovers. So now my opponent switches out the Entei into the Trevenant, and meanwhile I went with what did I go with? I think I go with Scald. Yeah, obviously I went with Scald. Either Pokemon, whether he decides to switch out or not, is going to take some damage, and hopefully I would have been able to land the burn right there, but I didn't. So now I'm obviously going to switch out because I need my Manaphy to deal with that Entei. So here comes my Moonwalk. Still predicting the Leech Seed or a Will-O-Wisp. So it goes for Leech Seed, so it's not going to do anything like I said before because of the Magic Guard ability. And here comes the Wood Hammer, which is going to do a decent amount of damage, more than half. So I definitely don't want to stay in battle to take another hit. But it does take some recoil damage, I think. So yeah, I decided to stay in battle, go for Flamethrower, and it's able to take down the Trevenant. Yeah, so here comes the Entei again, which I know it has Iron Head, but at this point I was wondering if he was predicting me to switch out, so I do switch out. But I was wondering if he was going to go for Iron Head again, so I decided to go into Porygon 2 instead of Manaphy. So I traced the ability Pressure, which may come in handy if this Pokemon has Sacred Fire, which I believe only has 5 PP. So okay, so he goes for Stone Edge, doesn't really do much. Here comes Sacred Fire now, but thanks to the Pressure ability that I was able to trace, it's using 2 instead of 1. So if he's gonna keep using Sacred Fire or Stone Edge, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep using recovers until he runs out of moves. But now he goes for Will-O-Wisp. I go for Toxic to try to stall him out, and all that good stuff that Porygon is able to do. Yeah, so I'm able to land the Toxic right there, and of course I'm gonna stay in battle. Unfortunately, I am burned, which sucks because I'm going to be losing some HP at the end of each turn. And he goes for a Sacred Fire, is able to land a critical hit, which sucks because It doesn't really suck too much, but I know I'll be able to take another hit, just as long as it's not a critical hit. So I decided to stay in battle. I'm still exerting pressure, so I figured this might have been the last Sacred Fire, I think. Unless he used, you know, PP up some of that stuff. So I go for recover, managed to survive that Sacred Fire. Barely, but, you know, still managed to use recover. And, you know, this burn is really affecting me still. So he's gonna stay in battle. I was hoping that Stone Edge was gonna miss, you know, because Stone Edge is known to miss a lot. But never against me, though. It always lands when it's used against me. So, you know, I was gonna keep using recover and let this Entei or Sacred faint. And oh, we're almost at the halfway point. You know, it's been 15 turns right here. And what was that? Iron Hand. So I guess he ran out of Sacred Fires and Stone Edges already. So I go for another recover, and I think this one right here is enough to take down the Entei. Yes. So yeah, I was able to Toxic stall him out. You know, it's a cheap move, but it works. It works. I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, I can't remember what the next Pokemon is. Oh, so here comes the Serperior. Serperior, which I know has to have Leaf Storm and the contrary ability. So he goes for Leaf Storm, obviously, because it's faster than me. And at this point, I was not sure if I wanted to go for Ice Beam or Toxic, but I decided to go for Toxic, just so that this guy could like eventually, you know, die out. Because I'm pretty sure the next an Ice Beam would not have been enough to take down the Serperior in one hit. So I go for Toxic if my Porygon is gonna go down. It's gonna go down with a bang at least. So yeah, the next Leaf Storm is obviously going to take me down. So this guy right here, the Serperior, it's at +4 in the special attack department. It's a girl Serperior. It also has leftovers, so yeah, that's definitely going to affect the poison status. So here comes my Latias. I switched into my Latias because I know Serperiors usually have Dragon Pulse, so I switched to my Latias expecting a Dragon Pulse. I switched into double switching to my Clefable, which she does go for a Dragon Pulse. So of course I'm able. It's not going to affect me at all because I'm Fairy type. So now I know Serperior is going to go for Leaf Storm. So I switch back into my Latias to take the Leaf Storm, which I know is not going to be very effective, and of course, you know, the poison is going to take away more HP slowly but surely. So I'm able to take the Leaf Storm again. So now this Serperior is maxed out in the special attack department, so this guy needs to go already. And I was hoping, I was really hoping that this Serperior didn't have a synthesis or something like that, like the one I gave away in my giveaways. I was wondering if this guy that I was battling was a participant of my giveaways, and he was using the Serperior that I gave away. But anyways, here comes another Leaf Storm, and I think at that point I decided to leave my Latias out there so I can faint. And you know, the Toxic is, you know, it's taking away more HP each turn, so that's good. So yeah, 2 more turns for sure, I think, and that'll be the end of Serperior. So here comes my Venusaur, which I know should be able to take a Leaf Storm and a Hidden Power Fire, if it had Hidden Power Fire, but you know, I didn't want to take the risks and have it go for a Dragon Pulse, which I know would have been done a lot of damage to my Venusaur and maybe even take it down. So instead, so it does go for Hidden Power, which I figured was Hidden Power Fire, and it's able to take down my Clefable. But you know, that was the original plan right there, to, you know, sacrifice another Pokemon right there. Unfortunately, you know, but that's one of the things about Serperior. You can't let it do, you know, start using Leaf Storms and just have it max its special attack. But I had no options right there. I just needed to stall this thing out enough so the poison could eventually take it down. So, you know, here comes my Venusaur. I couldn't really switch into my Feraligatr because, you know, it's not faster than Serperior, and, you know, it's obviously water type. So here comes a Hidden Power Fire, which I'm so happy I went for Hidden Power Fire because they didn't really do anything. Even though it was a critical hit right there, still barely did over half. So, you know, either way, I was gonna go for Synthesis, which I do go for Synthesis. So I'm pretty much, you know, at full HP right there, and I know this Serperior is going to go down to the poison. So you know, good thing I decided to use Toxic instead of Ice Beam. Or maybe I should have used Ice Beam, then switch into my Venusaur and use Sludge Bomb, and that would have been the end of Serperior. But you know, why risk it? So here comes Charizard, which I'm not sure which I wanted it to be the most. You know, the Charizard Y or Charizard X, Mega Charizard. You know, but it is Charizard, Mega Charizard Y, which is gonna bring the drought, and it's obviously gonna go for Flamethrower. I know my Venusaur, Mega Venusaur has the Clefable ability, but still able to do a lot of damage. And I go for Sludge, but I'm hoping that I was going to at least be able to poison it, which I do. So this is really good. At least this guy will take some residual damage at the end of each turn. And because now I decided to switch out because I feel like I needed my Venusaur for one of its other Pokemon, which I can't remember which they were. So I switched into my Manaphy, predicting another Flamethrower, which it doesn't go for. It goes for Air Slash, so it's not able to do more than half, so that's good. I know the Manaphy and Mega Charizard have the same base speed, and my Manaphy is maxed out in the speed stats, so I was hoping I will be able to win the speed tie right there, which I do. If this Charizard was maxed out in the speed department and was a timid nature or something. So I'm able to land the Skull right there and able to take down the Charizard, and it still would have been enough even with the the poison. So yeah, that's the end of Charizard right there. And here comes the Blissey, which I think I decided to switch out right here. No, I go for Toxic, just to poison this thing. I think he has 2 Pokemon left. Now this guy right here, this girl has a Blissey, and the Glalie, and Blissey goes for her own Toxic. So it's not that big of a deal. I don't really need my Manaphy anymore. I'm just trying to do as much as I can with it. So I think this turn I decide to go for Tail Glow. I think let's see if I do that. Anyways, I know Blissey has the natural cure ability, so I can just switch out and then use Soft Boiled. But I was saving my Venusaur for Blissey, and some of the same story as my last battle, and where I had my Venusaur face off against that Chansey. Chansey just kept switching out, and yeah, it's a really long battle. I can't get it over with. But anyways, I went with the Tail Glow to increase my special attacking by +3, I believe. So now I decided to start using some. I decided to start using some Skulls. Try to do as much damage as I can, and might as well. Because I know my Manaphy won't be able to really touch Blissey. So I go for Skull, a +3 Skull. And it doesn't really do half. So what do you expect? Blissey has a really high HP stat. So here comes the Seismic Toss, which is not going to be enough to take it down, but with the poison, I think it is going to be enough this time. Let's see if it is. So yeah, so the Blissey also has leftovers as well. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's the end of my Manaphy right there with the poison. I think I thought I was going to be able to survive at least with like 1 HP or 2 HP, which would have been nice. But at least this Blissey right here, it's below half now, so anything can happen now. So here comes my Venusaur. I decided to go for Leech Seed, of course. I'll be able to regain a ton of HP at the end of each turn if the Blissey decides to stay in battle. So he goes for Soft Boil. It's not that big of a deal. This guy, this Blissey is badly poisoned, so it'll still take some damage either way. And meanwhile, I'll be able to recover. Let's see how much HP I'm able to recover with the Leech Seed that I used on Blissey. And so I'm at 64 right now, and I'm able to recover all the way back to 109. So that is 45 HP regained. See, this is what I love, having Mega Venusaur face against Chansey or Blissey. You can't really do much against it. Blissey, anyways. So yeah, he switches out into the Glalie. And meanwhile, I decided to start using Giga Drains because that's one move that is probably my best option. So yeah, Giga Drain, and this Glalie has the Moody ability, which increases a random stat by 2 stages and decreases another by 1 stage. By the looks of it, I don't usually face the Glalies actually, or a Pokemon that has the ability Moody. So it was kind of new to me, but it's not a big of a deal. It was able to increase its attack stat by 2 stages though, which sucks, but at least the accuracy fell. So here comes another moody increase. The speed, it has now increased by 2 stages, so I know it's faster now. So now I go for Protect, and what did I decide to go? I think I decided to go for a Waterfall. So okay, this guy knows Protect, and what was the other move? I'm not sure what the other move is. So yeah, obviously it's faster than me right now, and it gets the speed drop, but instead it gets the defense drop. So here comes a substitute. Okay, so no substitute. Protect. I was still wondering what the other two moves were. So okay, I'm just gonna keep using Waterfall to try to do as much damage as I can. And luckily for me, I was able to break the substitute right there. So okay, so now I'm predicting that he's gonna go for another Protect right there. So okay, if you're gonna go for Protect, I'll go ahead and start using Dragon Dance, and which I do decide to go for Dragon Dance right there. After this right here, and so yeah, here comes a Protect. There's the predicted Protect, and like I said, I go for Dragon Dance to get my special attack, my speed and the attack stat increased by 1 stage. But this guy meanwhile keeps recovering with the leftovers, but no big deal, no big deal. It's just a Glalie. What can it possibly do? It's not Mega Glalie because we obviously saw Mega Charizard. So let's go ahead and use Waterfall now, which should be able to take it down because this Feraligatr has the ability Sheer Force, and it's also carrying the item Life Orb, which is going to do a ton of damage. So here comes the Blissey, and I know I'm going to be faster, and Blissey doesn't really have a high defense stat. Actually, a really low defense stat. So I'm able to take it down with just 1 Waterfall right there, and that's the end of this battle. I was able to defeat Corbin right there. That Serperior almost had me good thing. I was able to do the little Latias and Clefable switch-ins, double switch, all that stuff. Other than that, if it would have used Dragon Pulse against my Mega Venusaur instead of Hidden Power Fire, it would have been a different story maybe. But I'm not gonna complain. We got the victory right here, and yeah, it was a fun battle. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, it'd be really cool if you did. Your support really does mean everything, and definitely gives me a reason to keep uploading videos. Hopefully, I'll be able to start streaming on Twitch again, so I can battle against some of my viewers. That's usually pretty fun. But for the meantime, thanks for watching, guys, and I guess I'll catch you next time.